Welcome to another edition of Wings Weekly. Jay Klein Connect here, along with head coach Scott Langer. The first Wings Weekly of the 2017-2018 campaign. Wings go over to the NAHL Showcase coach and start things out with a 2-1 loss to Springfield and pick up a point off the 2-1 overtime loss to Philadelphia. But then things really got rolling for your squad. 5-1 against Johnstown for a win and wrap up the Showcase with a 1-zip shutout win over the New Jersey. When actually, I thought that New Jersey game was going to be one of the tougher challenges, and it turned out to be a really exciting game. We saw goals scored by Keenan Spillum, Trey Bagwell, Andy Walker, 2 from Joey Strada and 3 from Nathan Burke, and allowing just 5 goals in 4 games to end up 2-1-1, and in an early season tie for this lead in the Central Division. What do you take away from the 4 games there in Blaine, Coach?
Well, I think we improved every day. We had a tough one there to start it out. I mean, we only gave up 3 chances the whole game, and found a way to lose. That's tough. That's tough on everybody. It's a game you should have won, but again, our guys are figuring out how tough it is to score in the North American Hockey League, and it's going to take some time. It always does. But our guys played solid defensively. Didn't give up a whole lot in all 4 games. And like I said, we just continue to improve as a hockey team throughout the entire tournament.
Yeah, you could just see the improvement from day to day even, really. And we'll get a little into the preparation and so on coming up here in just a moment. But what would you like to see improved upon? Again, it's early. It's just 4 games there. And what impressed you the most?
Well, I mean, our ability to play team defense is certainly very impressive. It took us quite a bit of time last year to figure out some of that stuff, and we were giving up quite a few goals, as you remember.
Yeah.
Our guys kind of bought in pretty quick this year. So, it's, again, we talk about having to score some goals and make some plays in order to take a little bit of that stress off us so we don't have to play as much team defense. And I think that's going to come. It always does. It takes a lot of time. Scoring goals is probably the toughest thing to do at this level. Yeah. And it'll come. But, I like the way our guys became a team over the 4 days. There was points on the line. We found a way to get 5 of the 8 and probably should have had all 8, when you really look at the statistics. We played Philadelphia there. We found a way to go to overtime and, had an unfortunate slip up, which ended up in the back of our net. But we had an opportunity to win all 4 games. And, last year I look at the position we were in, and I think we're ways ahead of that right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think there were a lot of scoring chances. You guys outshot every team you faced. And some scoring chances that where things just took kind of a funny bounce or maybe somebody doesn't see the puck right on the crease on the open side of the net or whatever it might be. There were a couple of other chances there too. And like you said, sometimes when the goals aren't flowing, you really rely on that defense. So it's great for the guys to really stand up like that. And talking about defensively, obviously a big part of that is goaltending too. And I thought both Daniel Pavlico and Cade Phipps played really well between the pipes. What can you tell us about these 2 young men, and what are your thoughts on their overall play, I guess?
Well, I think it starts with their work ethic. They came in right from training camp. Coach Acox was here all through training camp to work with them and set things straight right away, how we were going to operate. And these guys have done a great job in doing that. Both guys get thrown in the games, and they give us an opportunity to win a hockey game, and that's all you could ask them. Dan obviously played 3 of the 4, but Cade stepped in and made some big saves and gave us some confidence there against Johnstown. In a game we ended up scoring quite a few goals. So, early on, I got to say that those 2 guys did a phenomenal job in the first 4 games.
Yeah, I would say so. The special teams, there was some power play opportunities that were possibly missed, but one of the things that there were a lot of guys in the box throughout. Is that a product of just early in the season?
I think so. I think also when you get all those officials in one spot and they have all their supervisors there watching, I think things are called a little tighter.
Good point.
And that's kind of what you've seen. But at the same time, our guys did take some penalties that you probably won't see as the season goes on. They're figuring out how things are going to be called as well. But we gave up a few power play goals there on our penalty kill that probably could have been the difference in the game. But again, it's early on, and I think those type of penalties are going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I know from hearing from a lot of the fans and so on that were in attendance and those that watched on Hockey TV or whatever, there's a lot of excitement again that has just kind of followed this team over since May, and really impressed with a lot of people in town with the way they performed over there at the NAHL Showcase in Blaine, Minnesota. It is an interesting environment over there. You've got different games at different times, and there's teams coming and going in different locker rooms and all kinds of stuff happening. How difficult is it to schedule and prepare not only your team but yourself and your staff to be able to prepare for a team that you're seeing, four different teams in 4 days?
It's extremely difficult, because it's not your normal routine, that you're used to doing for 50-something games on top of that. But you get the late game and then you're right back at it first thing in the morning, so it doesn't leave a whole lot of time to break things down video wise and set your lineup. So you're kind of scrambling the entire time, and the early games are not normal in juniors, so getting your guys on a routine where they're getting out of bed and eating and doing their stretching and being ready to play. So it's different, but it's the same way for all the teams there. No, I don't think any team leaves there saying, we had a great schedule. I think we all look at it as it's a difficult schedule, but you got to battle through it and find a way to take points. Which
you guys did. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a quick break here and hear from some of the words from our sponsors. We'll be back with some fan questions as well as what's coming up this weekend for the Aberdeen Wings.
Let's make a taco. No, seriously. Start with a tortilla, soft tortilla. Warm it, kiss it. Don't kiss it. Chicken? How about tequila lime chicken? Now we're cooking. Slice this, peel that, snip those. Salsa? Verde. Cheese? Cotija. Oh, forgot to mention. Guac. That's better. See, anyone can make a taco, but we're not anyone. We're Qdoba, and these are knockout tacos. Qdoba Mexican Eats. Choose flavor.
Welcome back to Wings Weekly. Jake Kleinknecht and Scott Langer, head coach, of course, of the Aberdeen Wings. We kind of broke down the play of the Wings over the course of the 4 games there in Blaine. It's very early, obviously, and there's a lot that I guess you could speculate about, which I'm going to try to avoid doing. But one thing I wanted to ask you, and I heard people, there at the Schwann Super Rink would ask me or so on, after finishing the season the way that you guys did with such a strong run and really just energizing the community, not just even Aberdeen, the whole area. I mean, we had Sioux Falls, television and radio and so on, that was starting to cover games and follow the games as they went down the stretch. And so much excitement and so much going on at the end of last year. To start the year off with, you've got a bunch of guys that are coming back. Does it add a little bit of pressure to you, do you suppose? After having such a great finish to the season, do you feel like the bar is raised a little bit and kind of like, man, I got to do something to follow that up, or we've got to do something to follow that up? Or is it just any other year?
No, I think raising the bar was a good thing. And when we came in here, early on, you and I talked about it last year, that was the whole goal is raising the bar here and our expectations and making it into a situation where, we expect to win year after year, and every weekend we expect to win. And when we don't, we're upset about it. And that's what we're driving towards. Last year we didn't win it all. We had a great season, a great ending. We had a lot of accomplishments, led the league in scholarships, but we didn't win the Robertson Cup.
Right.
So there's still a lot left to be done. So we just have to keep working towards that. Again, we were set to bring back almost our whole hockey team this year, and that could have been something else. But with the way we finished the season last year, we got picked apart quite a bit. So there is a lot of. Yeah, we have we have more returners than we started with last year, but we also have a lot of new faces you'll see, come this week. So I think the goals are still the same. We want to finish high in the Central Division. We want to find our way in the Robertson Cup, because I think everybody knows that's a lot of fun. And we want to continue to put players in the school. So, no one's going to put any more pressure on me than I do. So, we're just going to go about it the same way, and we're going to go after another title.
Absolutely. All right. Well, another question that I heard quite a bit actually from people back home that were watching, or some that were there. The 4-man officiating crew that the Wings saw on 2 different occasions. People are wondering, well, what was up with that? Is it just that they had all the officials in that location and threw some out, or to your knowledge, is that something that the league is considering maybe implementing as the season goes along?
Well, what the league is doing is they're taking a referee that has been around a long time, a real seasoned referee, and they're putting him with a newer guy, someone that doesn't have as much experience, and they're trying to utilize it as a learning situation for those officials. And that's what you're seeing out there this weekend. Throughout the season, they're going to do that in certain locations. You're not going to see it every night, but the whole goal is to educate the officials that are coming up through the system, no different than how we educate our players, because you are finding that the officials are very young and there's a lot of turnover. A lot of the officials in North America League, you're seeing now in the East Coast and the American Hockey League, and sure enough, there's going to be some in the National Hockey League. So they move on quite quick. So I think it's a good thing. I think as long as we're putting time into our officials. Everybody wants to always blame the officials for everything, but you have to blame yourselves a little bit when you're not helping educating them, and I think that's what the North American League is doing right now.
Good to know. That's seems like good use of the resources that they have and so on. Another question that I had from a fan that wanted to know about your pregame rituals, if you have any, and what they are, if you do.
Oh, I have to go to the rink the same way every time. Same routine. We lose, can't wear the same socks. They go in the garbage. So this weekend I had 2 brand new pairs of socks go to waste. I don't know. I am superstitious, and a lot of things have to be done the same way. Eat the same thing. I don't know. I drive myself a little crazy with it, but. I think I've gotten my wife Tiffany into the same routines now. She's quite superstitious as well, but it's just I was the same way when I was a player, and it just kind of carried along into my coaching.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, folks. Because I know last year we talked a handful of times about different players and their superstitions and rituals. I don't know that we ever touched on yours, but I knew there were some. But all right, Coach. Well, coming up this weekend. Big night on Friday night for the Aberdeen Wings. He has the home opener here at the Odie. Then, of course, a home-and-home with Brookings, who is 2-2 right now coming out of the showcase. And what do you expect from Brookings? What do you think some of the keys are going to be?
Well, you watch them at the showcase. Mo's doing a great job. They're improving. They improved every game out there. And they're starting to come together as a team. It's going to be a hard-fought series, and they're big points for both teams. We're us playing each other 4 times in a row, so you're going to see quite the chess match, between our 2 teams. So, we expect them to come here and give us everything they got, and we know that us being at the home opener on Friday night, first time our fans get to see this year's product. It's exciting for us, but let's not spoil that with dropping 2 points.
Right. Well, back-to-back home-and-homes, as Coach mentioned, with Brookings coming up. Wanted to let you folks know, of course, that is September 29th, Friday. And then the 2017 Central Division Championship banner will be unveiled, so you'll want to be here for that. Skate with the Wings after the game, and Western Corporate Image Party Porch tickets are available by calling Aaron at 605-380-5852. Doors open at 5:30, 7:15 puck drop. That's Friday night, the home opener, September 29th, here at the Odie Ice Center. And then on Saturday night, at Brookings, September 30th, you can watch at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Aberdeen. Listen on 94.1 The Rock, hubcityradio.com, or the app. And the puck drop there is at 7:05 on Saturday night, again, in the Larson Ice Center there in Brookings. Well, that will pretty much wrap things up for this week's Wings Weekly. Coach, I appreciate you taking some time to talk with us, and best of luck coming up this weekend.
Thank you.